Hello everybody. Welcome. I am Megan Maria. I am your Chalk Couture independent designer. Welcome to Monday Night Chalkin'. Oops, forgot to turn my volume off, sorry. I hope you guys are all well. I tried to do a bunch of things today, so hopefully we will not freeze. I make no promises, but I hope so. You never really know. I am washing off this chalkboard while we are getting started here because I want to use this chalkboard again. This is one of our Odettes, and really what I'm trying to do here this evening is kind of practice a design I want to make because I have it in my head and I want to make sure that it's going to turn out the way I want it to turn out because I'm going to put it on a surface I can't wash off. So just in case, I want to do a little practicing with my spacing and make sure I'm going to have it right because this week is all things fonts. We're going to show you how to personalize and create beautiful pieces of home decor using our font transfers. And our font transfers, that's not what I wanted, give you the ability to create your complete own phrases and sentiments as well as personalizing things. So I have one of our little Odette chalkboards and I am in the process, I forgot my water bath. Great, I love when I'm going to use my font and I don't have my water bath. So I'm just washing it off. It had a previous sentiment on it. It's the beauty of our chalkboards is you can wash them off and it all comes off clean and it's like having a brand new chalkboard and you just start right over. Alright, so I am washing her off. Oops. I have a bunch of chalkboards out. Just trying to decide, and then finally I'm like, oh, I think we should just practice it tonight and see. Because y'all know I don't like to measure. It's kind of a thing for me. So I want to try to see how the spacing goes on the letters, and then I will put it on the surface that I want to put it on that is permanent and not something I can wash off. So I want to make sure that this is going to work. So I have an Odette chalkboard. We have three font transfers. We've had lots of font transfers over the years. Lots of different styles, different curves, block, times, that kind of stuff. But the current three are really a nice size. This one's all chopped up because this is the one we've had the longest. But this is the Handwritten Font, and it is very Ray Dunn inspired. We have used this transfer a ton because it's really easy to use, like ridiculously easy to use, and it's a really nice size. The letters, and it has that Ray Dunn inspired look. So we use this one a lot, but it doesn't take up a lot of space, and the sign I want to make, I need more of an impact. So that is not the font we're going to use. The other font, this is our other brand new guy, and he's totally fun. This is called the Modern Font. I like, kind of the curved, but not, blocky. I guess maybe blocky. But not like, Times where it has the little extension of the letter. So it's just a very, very fun, but very small. I mean, these letters are little. These letters are like an inch. Some of them, the big ones, like your W is an inch, but your I is 1/4 of an inch. So these are little letters. 3/4 of an inch, and maybe 1/2 inch on the U. Your B, that's the other big one. It's not even 1/2 inch. So another very nice font, but not very big. Which is actually the little ones are actually the nicer ones. But for the sign I'm trying to make in my head, I need a bigger font. And then there's this one. This is the biggest one. This is an E size. This is the Rustic Font. These letters are a very nice size. For example, the U on this one is just a little over 2 inches. The W is 2.5. So you get a bigger impact word with this font. So there's 3 font transfers currently. But there are lots of font transfers out there that are retired or been around for a while. So tonight, the font transfer that we're going to actually use is called, I don't know, because it's in the wrong bag. I don't know the name of it. But I would tell you, it looks exactly like the modern font, almost exactly like the modern font, but it's just bigger. These letters are a nice, big, chunky size, which is kind of what I am looking for. And I'm going to explain to you here, these are all numbers. With the exception of these two lovely guys that are stuck together. I'm glad I don't need them. Take care of your transfers when you put them away. This is the moral to that story. The other nice thing about these transfers is they all have numbers. Numbers are big. You want numbers. Because if you ever want to do your address or something fun like that, you need a number. All right, so we are going to, I need that one. I don't need these guys. We are going to make a sign. So I saw a sign. Here it is, right here. I'm going to show you. It came in the mail. It's like an advertisement for a realtor. You know, you get inspiration from all kinds of different places, right? So I got this postcard in the mail from a realtor, and I looked, the first thing I did was, oh my gosh, I love that sign. I love that sign. I love that sign. We need to make this sign. So look at the super cute, I hope you can see it, sign. Can I get it to focus on the sign? Of course not. But it's really cute, like really cute. I'm gonna put it up closer and see if I can get it to focus on it. Ooh. So see, it says just a black and white sign with the name of where I live. So it got me thinking, like, first of all, I mean, this font is almost exactly this font. But it got me thinking about a couple of things I've done or would like to do in my home from a decor standpoint. So not that long ago, the village of Elm Grove that we live in replaced all of its street signs. And as a fundraiser for the community, they auctioned off, you could just buy them. I don't think they auctioned them off. You could just buy them. They sold the old street signs. Well, I grew up here. I've lived here, well, not my whole life, but I grew up here, moved away for many, many years, and came back here and raised my children here. And when my husband and I got married, I owned a home here. So then he and I purchased a home together where we live now. This is a long sort of story. You don't need all these details. Moral to the story was I bought the street sign of where we lived. Our first home together. I bought the street sign because we were right on the corner and the street sign was in our yard. So I bought the street sign. So I have this vision in my head of this like gallery wall in my house with all of the places that we've lived, and the pictures of the kids and maybe the houses and things like that. So in my head, I have this picture. So then I got this postcard and I saw this really cute sign and I'm like, I should make signs with the names of the villages or towns that we've lived in. So that's where I'm going with this. In the meantime, while I'm doing this, I'm going to teach you how to use the font transfers because they're crazy easy. Like I've talked longer than this is going to take us to make this sign. The fonts have always scared me to death because I don't like to measure. I can't make anything straight to save my soul if I just eyeball it. And placing individual letters down to make words give me heart palpitations. I don't know about you guys, but it does for me. And like when I first started with the company, our previous fonts did not have these little tiny lifesavers here called registration marks. These registration marks take all of the guessing and all of the work out of personalizing anything. Trust me, without these marks, whoever thought of these marks is genius and should be a millionaire, is all I gotta say. Because it really is genius. And especially when you do it on a chalkboard because you can wash it off as you go. So that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to use the registration marks and how to create a sign. The hardest part for me always is centering. And I go back, and I'm totally going to date myself here, but in high school we took typing classes. Anybody remember typing classes? where we typed with carbon paper, and don't make a mistake because you had to correct, okay, so when I graduated from high school, I worked in a bank and we typed loan documents, and if you made a mistake on that loan document, you had to go through all the copies. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, you can feel my pain, right? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how I'm going to decide. I'm going to go back to typing class and how I would center it. So this board from end to end, you can't see the other end. Flip you a little, wrong way. Okay, from end to end is 21 inches, but it does have this little curve on the inside. So what I really want to determine is where is my center point. And I am going to just pull out the tape measure because it's easier. All right, so I have from chalkboard to chalkboard, I have 20, we're going to say 20 inches. So this mark right here, I'm going to grab, can I do it with a pencil? Do I have a pencil? I should have a pencil. Of course I don't have a pencil. Why would I have a pencil? That's far too logical. Okay, so we're not going to do it with a pencil, we're going to do it with a piece of chalk. Good old-fashioned chalk. So I'm going to make my center point on my board. White chalk on a white chalkboard didn't work. In my mind it worked. How can I not have a pencil? Okay, next thing. White chalk on white chalkboard. I didn't think it was exactly a white chalkboard, so I guess it is. My white chalk doesn't show up. Now we're going to use a piece of painter's tape. So I'm going to decide where my center point is. Now, placement tape is something that Chalk Couture sells, and it does work. And it's what we used before we had registration marks, because we had to come up with our center points. And we had to line up the letters and space the letters and, you know, do all of that. Okay, I'm golden. All right, so. And again, this is my practice board. This isn't the actual board that I am going to make this on. So I'm not overly concerned. I'm more worried about how much space do I need in the board that I'm going to put it on that I can't wash off. So I'm going to pull out my little fancy laser level. This little guy helps me make things straight. Love him because he does work. Okay, I'm going to put him on my board. So if you don't have a laser level thing, you're going to do it probably more the old-fashioned way. And I want a straight line so that I know where I am going. Tell you, he's not straight. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up. See, you can see how on my hand, you can see the red line on my hand right here. So this thing has little laser lights in it that help me make everything straight. Sometimes I think I'd be better off if I just eyeballed things. Don't you think that sometimes? All right, so I'm going to grab my placement tape. So Chalk Couture placement tape looks like this, and it's basically a ruler on a piece of washi tape. I thought I had some of this open though, but I don't. So we're going to open this one. So it's not like a permanent tape. It's not like masking tape. It's like a washi tape. So it sticks, but it doesn't stick super hard, so it's not going to hurt your surface. Okay, open sesame, please. Doesn't want to open. Grab my scissors. All right, so I'm going to put a piece of placement tape down. Now in theory, my, whatchamacallit, registration marks will keep my letters straight for me, but sometimes it's nice to have just a little bit of extra something to know that you're really going straight. Okay, so this is what the placement tape looks like. I'm going to take it off, my little guy, and I am going to put him down. Then I'm going to straighten him. Now, I don't think my letters are this long, but I could be wrong. Okay, so now I want to straighten it. And I'm using my laser level to do so with my fancy little line. We are good. We are good. See, sometimes eyeballs just work. So I'm just lining up my washi tape to the red line that's going across my board. It never looks straight to me though. It does not look straight at all. That's because it's not straight at all. So I have not put this on here properly. Oh yeah, he's crooked. Okay. Now he looks better. Just, you know, what's that saying? Measure twice, cut once. That's the saying my husband says all the time. Make sure that you're good. That's pretty good. All right. I think we're good. We're going to try just one more time. Just check it one more time, right? It never hurts to be overly cautious with the whole making sure you're straight. I think we're straight. We're pretty close to straight. And again, I don't need to be too worried about it on this board because this is just our practice to see how the letters space out. But I'm going to show you how you can take here's my pencil. Now I've got my pencil. How we can take a font transfer and make a personalized word. All right, so I am going to, again, be old school like typing class. Elm space Grove. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 letters. So at letter 4 1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 1/2 is my space. So did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. So I'm gonna, the middle of my G is gonna be on our line. So that's where I'm gonna start. And I'm gonna go backwards. So this is how you do it. You take your letters and you cut them apart. It takes more time to cut things apart and measure than it takes to actually do this. So I'm going to take my G off of the back. This is my center point, right? And I want my middle of my G. Or not quite the middle, right? Because it's 4 1/2. So, quarter of my G. That can't be right. Should be on this side. Hello. Dummy. Should be on this side of the line. Should need 4 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2 on this side of the line. Not on the other side of the line. Woo! Okay. So, first letter is always the hardest, right? Put it down. Excuse me, grab a squeegee. We're just going to use black. Dip it in my chalk paste, like so. Glide it across my silk screen. And then I chalk my registration marks. And I chalk both sets, because that's what's going to keep me straight. Okay, so I'm just chalking, smoothing it out just like normal, pulling it off. Now, because I forgot my water bath, I'm going to take this, I'm going to stick it here, that side up. Alright, so I have registration marks and a G. And I got chalk on my finger, which got it on my board where I didn't want it. Excuse me, so I'm going to wash that off. Voila. Okay, now we need to dry it so we can keep going. I hope everybody's good today. Did everybody have a good Monday? We had a very exciting and thrilling day. We cleaned the garage. That's always exciting and thrilling. So you can, chalk paste dries very quickly. You can always tell when it's dry because it's not shiny anymore. So I'm just giving her a good dry because I'm gonna layer the transfer's gonna lay over it. So we want to make sure that it doesn't smear it. Okay. So we have a G. Let's keep going this way. We need our R. I just cut it out. What I have found, or what many people do, is they don't cut their backer sheet when they do a font. And then they just cut the transfer. I'll show you how you do that. And that way you don't have to worry about all these little tiny pieces of backer sheet to put letters back on. So what they do, I'll show you how you do it, is you lift the transfer from the backer sheet, you find your cut line, and you just cut along the cut line without cutting it through the backer sheet, and then your backer sheet remains intact. I don't do that on these guys because it's a big font and I have extra backer sheets, so it makes my life a little easier. Alright, so now I'm going to line up my next letter by simply completing the circle with the registration marks. And I'm going to show you. So see here, can you see that right here? See how you can see in there that I have complete circles. That is what gives you your lined up letters. Just complete the circles and just keep going. And you can see it through the silk screen. Black and white are the easiest colors to see through the silk screen. If, let's say, you were chalking on a surface that you can't wash off, because that's possible, right? Like let's say you were inking a pillow or doing something like that. Now I'm going to take our R off. And it's perfectly spaced and lined up. Okay. So see, we have our R. And then when we're all done, I just simply wash our... I'm having a hard time staying on my transfer today. You simply wash the registration marks off. It's that easy. If you are doing a permanent surface where you... Oh, shoot. I smudged it. Where you can't, then you place your placement tape down, and see my little circles are on the placement tape, and then I pull the placement tape off. I smeared it with my wipe, and again, I'm not that worried about this because this is my test one. Sometimes it's nice when you have something in your head, try it out on the surface, that you can wash off if you're going to create it permanently on a surface that you can't wash off. Sometimes it never hurts to, you know, practice. All right, so I gotta fix my smearing. Anytime I'm going to fix a mistake, I always try to have my chalk paste be dry. It's much easier to fix it. So I'm just taking my finger in a wet wipe and cleaning off where I smeared it. If I had done that when it was wet, inevitably I would have ruined the R. All right, so we are all lined up and ready to go. Now I need an O. So this is one of the things I like about these transfers is our ability to personalize. I don't do it often, but when I do it, I actually fall in love with it all over again and say, why don't I ever do this? Because this is so much fun. Again, line up my registration marks, complete my circles. Super easy to do. Oops. Okay, I'm going to try showing you again. So see where my fingers are, my very dirty fingers? This way. You can see that the circles are complete with chalk. So you just make a circle. That's all you gotta do. Stick my chalk paste. I'm sure that there is some, you know, mathematical formula that you can do to figure this all out and not have to do this, but I'm not smart enough. I've got chalk paste all over me. For some reason, when I use black chalk paste, I end up with it everywhere. Okay, so now we have our O. Set it in front of me. Dry off my O. Oh, there's a space. That's why I keep thinking this doesn't look centered. Maybe I didn't center it right. It's been a long time since I had typing class in high school. Long time. Now I need a V. And then we're going to need our E. We need our E more than once. Okay. Finish off my circles. See, if we didn't have these registration marks, this would take me 3 days. And I'd be so stressed out and not enjoy it in the least. Like, in the least. Which is why I have a lot of old font transfers that have never been used because they don't have the registration marks. The original ones don't have them. Okay, now we have a V. See how easy this is? Anybody can do this. And I think it's just nice because as you're going to see, we have a couple projects this week. I often see things in the store and I'm like, I want to make that. I could just make it. And then I don't have to worry about, oh, is there a transfer that has that word on it? I can, like, we're going to make our prayer bowl. I'm going to take the little letters from the modern font and I'm going to write prayer in a bowl. Super easy to do. But I don't have to worry about, you know, does that transfer exist? That's my F now. My E, I need an E. Hello E, there you are E. So now we line up our E. Okay. So we are more than halfway done with our word. Now this one I don't need to do any registration marks because it's the last letter. I'll do our registration marks when I do the E on the other side for the elm. Really making sure that I scrape off any excess chalk paste because I'm going to reuse the letter without having washed it. Okay. So now I have the grove. I'm still trying to get all the black chalk paste out from underneath my thumb. Dry it just so I don't smear it as I'm working. Dries super fast. So has anybody else used the font transfers? If you have or haven't, is there something you can see yourself making with them? Is there something you'd like to see me make with them this week? Okay, so now we have our grove. Now I need a space, right? And then I need our ELM. So here's my L, and then I need an M. That's M. Where is M hiding? I did. M is one of the ones that got ruined. Try pulling it off. So this is what happens when your transfers get stuck together and you don't realize they're stuck together. Somebody used these. They came here and used them and they didn't get put back properly. So these, we might have to use the W. Darn it. I'm just carefully pulling it apart. Yeah, there's no saving either letter. Yeah. So see what happens is that when the sticky parts stick to the sticky part, and this has been stuck together for a very long time, so we'll have to use our W as our, or we'll use our N. Where did our N go? Could we turn our N into an M, or should we just use our W? It's just really big. Our W is a lot bigger than our M is. Oh, maybe not. A lot bigger. We'll try it. What the heck, right? So we need to leave a space because they're two separate words. We're going to end in our N's, which is actually what we're going to use our W for. Ooh, baby. Yeah, he's big. Line them up using, again, my placement tape on the bottom. He's really big. Well, that's why it's a good thing that this is our practice guy, right? And I don't think he's straight. I don't think we put him on there. Hello, Kara. I don't think he's straight. We're practicing tonight, Kara. We're using fonts and practicing. Woo, yeah. That is a big old M because it's really a W upside down. Shh, don't tell. So it's going to throw our spacing off. So I think I'm going to have to use the Rustic Font when I make the sign for permanent. Because I need an M. And I can't remember what the name of this font was. I'll have to go back and look in catalogs. Because of course I didn't put it back in the right bag. Actually, it's the same deal, right? It got put away improperly. Not only did the transfers get put away improperly, but the got put in the wrong bag. I am practicing, Kara. I am practicing a sign I want to make that I can't wash off of the surface. So I'm working on my spacing and making sure it's going to line up, measuring, and all that good stuff on a surface that I can wash off because the sign I'm going to make, I cannot wash off. Either that or I'm going to give up and do it on a surface that I can wash off, which is always a possibility. But it's usually not the registration marks or the transfers that are my problem. It's usually just my own stupidity. Again, do our registration marks. Pull off our L, which seems, oh, I did it lower. I did our M lower, so our L is lower too. See, look at all the fun things we're learning. So I'm drying our L. And look, we learned that I can't use this transfer for what I want to make because I don't have an M. Because it got ruined, which is really a bummer. Really a bummer. So Kara, I got a sign, oh, that's an F, not an E. I got a postcard in the mail that has a really cute sign on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make that sign. So, that's what we're doing. He's trying, I'll show you the sign we're trying to recreate here in a second. Maybe I mean, the W is just big upside down, but it might work. You guys can tell me here in a second. Can you tell it's a W upside down? Or does it really look like an M? Does it look too out of place? Which transfer are you using? That's a darn good question, Kara. I don't know, because it got put back in the wrong bag. All right, so this is what we have. It totally looks like a W upside down. Doesn't look like an M. But I like the spacing. So now what do you do, right? First off, you have your placement tape. Well, I need to dry my E or I'm going to smear it. Not that it really matters, again, because this is a practice board. It's an old font, Kara. I've had it for a long time. The one and only time it ever got used, the C and the M got ruined. It was an open chalk night, and I bet you if I look in here, one of these, it will tell us the name of it. Fonts are always in the back of the catalog. Nope, that's all. Those are different fonts. That's an old font. How about this guy? How about last fall? Was he in here? Nope, he's not in here either. So he's really old. But he has the registration mark, so he can't be that old. All right, so we've got the word with our WM. Now we pull our placement tape off, like so. And then you take a wipe, you take a Q-tip, you take something, whatever you got, and we have to wash all those registration marks off on the top, wash right off. Now again, if I was using a surface that I couldn't wash off, I would put either a piece of placement tape down, the tape that I just pulled off, the washi tape, or I would use painter's tape. For this kind of sign, I would use the washi tape just because it has that added extra bonus also of having the lines on it like a ruler. So it helps you. Now, the board that we're trying to copy, the letters are white on a black background. This is really cute, and it would fit really nicely on this board. So I like this Odette board, and it kind of looks like a street sign to me. So I'm trying to make this wall that has, you know, our life, important things about our life on it. So where we live, where we've lived, the houses that we've lived in. Kind of, you know, our history with kids and without. Street sign type. Wow. All right, so this is, other than it's a W, I wonder what other letter I could use to try to make an M that would match better. I mean, the N maybe the V wouldn't be so severe. It's probably the same. Use the tape to create an M that's something with a straight line, and then using something with a straight line and then the W. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Use the V part of the W and then a straight line from the N. That's a really good idea, Kara. I'm going to try that. All right, so this is the sign we've made. This, this is the sign we're trying to copy. So it's black and white, which is the difference, right? But it totally works. So I was going to use, so I wanted to make sure that it would fill up the space. So I'm probably going to use the double-sided box frame because I'm going to paint the frame black. Then the board is white. It's a wood board. And then I was going to paint the black middle, like this one has a black middle. But I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't just cut a black chalkboard and do it on that. Yes, girl, it does work. Okay, I'm going to try that, Kara. That's a really good idea. So take the N, the two straight lines of the N. So this is what, Kara, this is what I think you're telling me to do. Where did I put my washi tape? Just had it. There it is. So I'm going to take my washi tape, my placement tape. I should stop calling it washi tape. It's placement tape. And I'm going to take my transfer, my N, and I'm going to make the straight line. So I'm going to make two straight lines, and then I'm going to put the V from the W in between. I think that's what you mean, Kara. Because that's the problem with the W, is all the other lines are straight up and down and the W is curved. So if it was straight up and down, it would totally work better. Because I really like this font. I'll go back and look and see, Kara, what the name of this font is. It's old, but it has registration marks on it, so it can't be that old. 2 years probably. Yes, that's my thought. I hope it works. Okay, I'm gonna try it and I'll let you know. And I'll look up the name of this font. Because yeah, otherwise I think the font is perfect. Except my M got ruined. All right, so this week we're going to play with some fonts. We're going to do some personalizing. We're going to make these super cute little signs. We're going to make our prayer bowl. We're going to make, we're just going to do some fun personalizing with the fonts so that you get comfortable with them. When I said it works before, I was referring to the sign looking great. Well, thank you. Thank you, Miss Kara. I think it works too. I just don't like the W not being, to me, and it's because I know it's a W upside down. And it's slanted where it shouldn't be. So that's what I got this week. We're gonna have a little, but I don't think we're gonna make too many font signs. So it's not like we're going to do like last week where it takes all week. We're just going to make a couple because I've got a lot of really fun things to make. My pile of fun projects is growing. So I think we're going to have a ton of fun. So if you can hang out with me this week, I make a demo video every night with the exception of Saturday. So come on back. If you are not in the Making Maria Crafted community, that is where the Make It Monday bundle is posted, which include our 3 font transfers. And we have 3 font transfers right now. We have the modern font, which is basically the same font we just used, a little bit slightly different, but not a ton different, only smaller. These letters are adorably like an inch. The inch is the biggest letter. So there's that one. Then there is the good old standby handwritten font, which is our Ray Dunn inspired font. And then last but not least, if you're looking for a bigger letter, we have our rustic font, which is more of a traditional Times Roman type font with the letters that go over, but it has a little bit of a rustic edge to it. It's not a flat edge to the letter. Those are our 3 fonts. All 3 of them are in our Make It Monday bundle in the Crafty community, so you can go check those out so that you too can be playing with fun fonts and making fun words and personalizing gifts. or things, home decor for your home, all kinds of fun things, right? That's the beauty of, not only do we have all kinds of fun transfers that you can create different things with that are already made and they're one and done, but you can completely and totally get creative as well if you want to with the font transfers. So that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you all have a great Tuesday, and I will be back at you tomorrow night. I'm Making Maria. If you want to check any of this out, you can go to www.chalkcouture.com/makingmaria. If you want to check out the font Make It Monday bundle, you need to be in the Making Maria Crafty community. If you're not in that, you can either message me directly or comment add me, and I'll send you the link. Either way, I'll get it to you. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks, guys.